Good morning, good evening, and good afternoon for those who are coming from different places around the world. Okay, this is your chairman of the UCSSC welcoming you in the 2026, and we are thankful for the consistent attendees. We would like to persuade most of the coaches to upgrade themselves for the latest of coaching uh, knowledge that you can get coming from the UCSSC. The speakers coming from different countries, most of them are actually national coaches. We would like to ask you to at least spend about 1 hour to attend the UCSSC Sports Coaching Education. Thank you.
Hi, everybody. We're expecting to have a seminar today. I'm going to turn off my echo. All right, let's try this again.
Yeah.
I have too many windows open. Seminar is going to begin in about 15 minutes.
Oh, there's a twin. Wow. A twin Mark Rodriguez.
Yeah, I have an echo. Let's try another little introduction. See if you like this one. It's 2 minutes and 30 seconds. This is Coach Mark Rodriguez. I'm here to introduce and do an invite for you to check out the UCSSC and the WAFSU website. Dennis Antonio Cordero is our fearless leader. He's from the Philippines, and he helps present educational material for swim coaches.
Let's break down what makes an elite swimmer so fast. It all starts with one insane moment in practice.
20.4 seconds. That's a world-class 50-yard freestyle. Just a blistering, absolutely stunning time.
But get this wasn't a race. It was in the middle of a brutal practice set. The swimmer, Leon Marchand, and the key was his absolutely elite underwater speed, a total game changer. And where did this go down? At Arizona State, with none other than legendary coach Bob Bowman. And this is no ordinary practice group. We're talking a pool stacked with Olympians and All-Americans. When you have that much talent in one pool, crazy things are going to happen, even in practice. Just how intense was it? They crushed 7 kilometers in under 2 hours. That is just nonstop. Now for the main set. It was a simple pattern, steady aerobic swimming, then all-out 50-yard sprints. And nothing here is by accident. Every single detail of this workout is meticulously planned out. So, how is a 20.4 even possible in practice? It's not just talent, and it's definitely no accident. It all comes down to a system. It's called high-performance coaching, a scientific, data-driven approach to greatness. This whole philosophy is built on 4 key pillars, and it's about way more than just swimming laps. First, you've got data, analyzing every stroke for tiny flaws, then planning the season to peak perfectly. Then comes the mental and physical prep. It's about building both race strategy and pure resilience. And the final piece, developing the whole athlete, balancing that intense work with recovery and motivation. And when the system clicks, well, the results do the talking. The coach's simple nod says it all. So that 20.4 swim, it wasn't a fluke. It was the direct result of this entire system at work. It really makes you wonder, what's the limit when raw talent meets an elite scientific coaching system?
Subscribe, like, share. We've got a podcast called Heavy or Not, a YouTube station or two, as well as a course at wasu.org. It's all supported by the International Swim Coaches Association. We hope to see you at the pool or online soon. The presentation is going to begin at the top of the hour, so we're just warming up the live stream, getting your attention, and we'll be able to hear from Coach Schubert in the minutes to come. So thanks for staying with us. Today I was working on a project along with this book. I'm going to put a link in the chat so those people that are here can check it out. If you go to swimisca.com, and the link I just put in the chat, there's a lesson generator. And there are 10 lessons, 10 chapters in this book. And with the lesson generator, it gives you a sample of what's in the book. And then it allows you to go to your practice with a bit of an outline so that you can challenge your athletes and lead them in an instructive, dynamic team meeting, sort of a prep. So if you go to swimisca.com, go to your chat. And also, let's warm up the chat too. If you could check in where you're coming from, that would be a great help. So I'll use the chat feature. It's at the top of my screen, or maybe on a mobile device, it's a little bit different, but pop in your name and where you're coming from. Here's another little ditty created to get your attention and warm up things up. These are the teams that are coming to the ISCA meet. The age group meet. And we can start this at any time they talk.
Okay, Coach Mark Schubert is here.
Great. Hey,
Good
I do have a
morning. Yes, we're going for 24. Okay, Coach Mark Schubert.
I'm
Good
sorry.
morning. Good morning, Coach Mark.
Okay.
Coach Mark, you can unmute your microphone. Oh, Coach Mark just went out. Hello, everybody. We would like to pay respect to the USA national coach, and if it's possible for you to give a heart every 10 minutes, please. Okay. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening for all of the participants coming from different places of the world. Okay, we do know that we moved the day from Sunday going to Monday today, and now we do have our speaker for today, the former national coach of the USA High Performance, is none other than Mark Schubert. And if you're going to be asking about Mark Schubert, okay, his productivity goes to 22 Olympians that made about 12 or 13 gold medals. And that's only for about what? Uh, an um, Olympic competition. Take note that 12 golds, 7 silvers, and 1 bronze, okay, was one of the production of this Hall of Fame speaker for today, which is named Coach Mark Schubert. I was so young that I was really looking at the performance of this great coach of USA. Now we have the opportunity to learn from him, okay, about high altitude training, where now they're training at Colorado Springs, about 5,000 feet above sea level. Okay, there's a new Colorado Springs High Altitude Training Center. We would like to welcome Coach Mark Schubert from USA. Coach, the floor is yours.
Thank you. Can you hear me?
Loud and
Can you
clear.
hear me now?
Loud and clear, Coach.
Yes.
Okay, great. I want to thank everyone for having me. It's quite an honor to speak to so many esteemed coaches from so many countries, and
Coach,
I'm happy.
your
Yes,
camera is not on.
I know. I'm
Okay,
reading some notes,
okay,
so
okay. No problem.
we're gonna do it this way. I apologize.
That is fine.
Um, the the subject is altitude training. And many of the best coaches in America utilize altitude training, as certainly coaches do all over the world. And the advantages of altitude training are many: an improved ability to handle greater volumes of training and enhance recovery following altitude training. Second one is an improvement in fitness level of the swimmer, leading to higher quality and intensity in the training and afterwards when they come down. An improvement in competition performance. And this is probably the most important thing: an improvement in competition performance in post altitude period. Now, there are many ways to do this. In my mind, the preferred way is 21 days at sea level and 21 days, or excuse me, 21 days at altitude and 21 days at sea level. Personally, I prefer to train in Flagstaff, Arizona, which is a little higher than Colorado Springs. And quite frankly, they treat us so well there. It's just my preference. A lot of people, including Coach Bowman, train at the training center, and obviously that's very good as well. But I prefer Colorado Springs. I'm sorry, I prefer Flagstaff, Arizona, and it is a little higher than Colorado Springs. I'm going to talk a little bit about how we approach the training. There's a 5-day adjustment period. So, in other words, the first 5 days, you have low intensity. I usually start off about 3 or 4,000 and then gradually build up to 6,000. Even the sprinters at altitude were training probably an average of 6,000, and the distance swimmers an average of 8,000 plus. We do 10 days following that adjustment period of aerobic training, 6 to 7,000 meters. And the way I try to uh, do this, we go 2 days of short course, or 2 workouts, I'm sorry, of short course, and 8 workouts long course. The short course workouts, I think, are important because we can work on starts, turns, finishes, and most importantly, underwater. I require my swimmers to take 8 kicks underwater. When they swim freestyle, I require them to take 4, but in practice, they must do 8. I think one good way to do this, to have them think about it, is even when they warm up, they're required to do 8 kicks. When they warm down, they're required to do 8 kicks. So they're always thinking about using underwater as a weapon. And we've all seen competitions where people don't use underwater. They may lead at the turn, but they're behind when they come out of the turn. We can't afford to do that on our program. So we take 8 kicks. And it's important that you emphasize with your swimmers, it's not just 8 kicks, it's 8 fast kicks. It's not the number of kicks you take, it's how fast you're going when you take the kicks. So we try to emphasize that. After this 10 days of aerobic training, we go into a cycle. We're increasing the intensity. Sprinters will keep it at about 5 to 6,000. Distance swimmers, 8,000 plus, except for the days that we go short course when we're working more on turns and little things. Mondays is our distance day. In the mornings, we do distance pulling, kicking, and swimming, but it's more focused on pulling and kicking. In the afternoon, because we're doing doubles on Monday, they're doing usually a distance set of 4 to 5,000. I might add, the most outstanding Monday that I've ever seen, I gave David Johnston, who is our Olympian who made the team for the United States in the 1500. He did a 3,000 under 31 minutes. And I'm sure there's probably swimmers that can go faster than that. But when he broke 31 minutes, that's the best 3,000 that I have ever seen among my swimmers. And I was very proud of that. And he's very proud of it too. Tuesdays, we go double workouts, mixed strokes. So we do IM or maybe I'll have swimmers swim with the breaststrokers or the backstrokers and we focus on that stroke. But usually the focus isn't as much on freestyle unless they're just a freestyler. But I try to focus on other strokes. To be quite honest, my favorite event is the 400 IM. And I know some people, I believe Bill Sweeten made the comment that he didn't feel the 400 IM swimmers should train with the distance swimmers because they need more speed. We try to include speed with the distance swimmers, and I definitely think the 400 IMers should train with the distance swimmers. And I've had a number of pretty outstanding 400 IMers that I'm very proud of. And like I said, it is my favorite event because I think for a coach, it's the most challenging. And it's challenging because each of the strokes have to be technically correct. And that challenges a coach to make sure that's true. On Wednesdays, we do a quality dive set. And this might be something like 9 100s, on 4 or 5 minutes, and we go easy swimming in between each 100. I might have them go the first 3 freestyle, descended, make sure they race each other. And then the next 3, their best stroke, other than freestyle. And then the last 3, their choice of stroke. But they have a lot of rest in between, where we have them usually go at least 150 or 200 of easy swimming to recover. Another set might be 6 200, same thing, lots of rest, descended 1 to 3. For the distance swimmers, I like 3 400s, same thing, descended and negative split. I'm big on negative split training. I think it's important for swimmers to learn how to finish strong, not start off slow, but finish strong. Again, negative split and descend 1 to 3. I think it's important when you do descended sets that you give them a goal. For example, if I was to give a good swimmer a descended set of 400s, I might say they all need to be under 410, and the last one needs to be under 4 minutes. That would be a good quality set, not 430, 420, 410, which if you just say descended, you'll have some swimmers not go as hard, but you need to give them goals. I think the coach giving swimmers goals is one of the most important things that you can do for them. The other day, we start off every one of our workouts with maximum pull-ups. And I was very impressed when I coached in China. Every member of the Chinese women's team could do 30 good pull-ups. We require our swimmers to do 20. And if they can only do 5, then they rest and then they do 5 more. And they rest and then they do 5 more. And then they rest and maybe the last 5 are assisted if they're too tired to do 5 more. But 20 total, preferably 20 in a row. And if any of our swimmers can go 30, I congratulate them and tell them, hey, good job. You could make the Chinese women's team. They like that. So dive sets on Wednesdays, we do with technical suits. I believe in doing 2 workouts a week in technical suits because it teaches you how to use the suit, because the suit floats different. It's different on the underwater. It's different on the surface swimming. And I think it's important to do some training with technical suits. Thursday is the same as Monday, where we will do distance, and we'll do doubles, kick and pull distance in the morning, swim distance in the afternoon, at least a set of 4,000 to 5,000. Then Friday is the same as Tuesday, where we mix the strokes. We either work on IM or I make them choose their second stroke. If their second stroke is backstroke, they will swim with the best backstrokers and compete with them. This is good for the best backstrokers, and it's good for everybody else because it gives them an idea of what they need to do to compete. I will give you an example of what I told Lenny Krasenberg. And if you don't know who Lenny Krasenberg was, he was the Olympic champion in 2000 in the 100, 200 backstroke, and the 400 medley relay. The year before, he had broken the world record in the 50 backstroke, the 100 backstroke, and the 200 backstroke. The first day he came to practice, which was about 3 years before the Olympics in 2000, I told him, look at this swimmer here. His name was Brad Bridgewater. He had won the 200 backstroke at the Atlanta Olympics and was training against Lenny. And I said, Lenny, If you stay with him every day until you drop, if you can only stay with him 1,000, that's good. Next day, maybe 2,500. Each day more until you can stay with him every day in practice and eventually beat him. You will win the Olympic gold medal in Sydney. And he did. He became the best swimmer in the world in 1999 and then won the Olympics in 2000. And he listened to me. And although that was great competition for Brad, it obviously was better competition for Lenny, who was very, very talented. So that's what we do at altitude on Tuesdays and Thursdays. And then Fridays is the same as Tuesday, I'm sorry. And then Saturday is the same as Wednesday. Wednesdays and Saturdays, we go single workouts. The rest of the week, we go double workouts. Saturdays, we do with techno suits. We do quality set, as I gave you an example. Usually, the set is a distance relative to the distance that the swimmer is training in. Although the set that I gave you on the 9/100s, I will have everybody do to work on their speed. I think it's important that distance swimmers train against the sprinters and try to stay with them. They need speed. It's very, very important that they develop speed. If they only swim long and slow, they won't develop speed. So you need to have those, I think, those 2 workouts a week. And I like them being done in technical suits. And I like giving them goals as to how fast they need to swim. Some examples, as I said, 6 200s, 3 400s, 2 800s, second one faster, negative split with goal times on both. And then I like 24 50s, every third one fast. Might do those on a minute, might do those on 40 seconds. And I would vary it, either longer rest, a minute, or shorter rest, 45 or 40. Every third one all out. And I would let them go one easy on number one build up on number 2, and then one as fast as they can go with goal times that need to be at least 200 pace or preferably faster than that. Additional considerations for altitude, and I think these considerations are very important. One is age. If you have a 13, 14-year-old training at altitude that is not used to doing the mileage that the distance swimmers are going, although they are distance swimmers, then you cut the distance down of what they're doing. Age is very important consideration. 13, 14-year-old cannot handle what a 20, 21-year-old can handle. Level of fitness prior to altitude. I think you need to make sure that before you go to altitude, you stress to your team how important their level of fitness is. Because if they're not fit, when they go to altitude, they won't accomplish as much as they will if they're fit going into it. Muscle mass and event. Obviously, the sprinters will have an adjusted workout. They won't do the same thing that distance swimmers will do. Sprinters usually have a little bit more muscle mass, and you're training for a 50 or 100 or perhaps a 200. I personally like 100 swimmers to also focus on the 200. I think it is a benefit to the last 50. Now, maybe at the end of the season, you're just focusing at the 100, but throughout the year, I have them focus on the 200 as well as the 100. Nutrition. Extremely important whether you're training at altitude or not. Stressing, fluid intake, and other recovery methods are important. Rub downs, sleep, what things that I call hidden training. The coach isn't going to see these things, but the coach needs to talk about them. And obviously, when you're at altitude, you're going to see them a lot more than you are when you're at sea level because you're going to be with them the whole time. So, stressing those things, nutrition, fluid intake, other recovery methods like massage. The other thing that I think is important to remember and is important consideration, my observation is asthmatics and people with breathing challenges do not do as well at altitude. And I would either recommend adjusting the intensity level or having them stay at sea level. And I have had good swimmers who are asthmatic stay at sea level and do very well. You know, they still do the basically the uh, s- what I call the pace of the week, the same, but not quite as much distance and focusing on quality if they are swimming at sea level. Just an observation. I learned this the hard way. I had very good swimmers. I used to have my whole team go to altitude, but almost consistently, if people were having a breathing challenge, if they were asthmatic, they did not do as well as they did if they were training at sea level. So I needed to make an adjustment. That's pretty much what I think is important. Um, are we going to ask or answer any questions?
Yeah, sure, Coach. This is Mark, the other Mark in Pittsburgh. How about then coming back down to sea level or going to the competitions? How does that stage and work out? Well,
Coach?
yeah, I see in the area that Mark has disappeared.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Hopefully he logs back in. Here he comes.
Hey, here is it. Okay. Yeah. Coach?
I'm back.
I'm,
Okay, yeah.
Questions?
Yeah, the question I had is what about staging the return to sea level or to your home or to the competition? How do you structure that? And how many days out or how does that work?
That's a very, very good question. And I'm sure, as most of you know, the last 3 weeks is very individual. And fortunately or unfortunately, the coach learns through experience. Some swimmers, particularly some middle distance and distance swimmers, do better with 4 days of taper. And usually, if I go 4 days of taper, I'll go 5,000, 4,000, 3,000, 2,000. Most of my swimmers do a 10-day taper where they start at 5,000. We kind of do the same basic pattern, although I like to do in a 3 workout pattern, 1 day of aerobic, 1 day of mixed speed and short sprints. I think short sprints, there's a place for them all year long. In other words, 3 cycle sprints. Usually I'll have them do 50s, building the beginning and then sprinting the last 15 meters for 15 cycles. I think it's important to train that system for everybody. Then the third workout is either quality or the closer we get to the competition, it's more pace work. For the distance swimmers, I would have them go 4 to 8 100s, descending in intensity the last four at the pace of the race, whether it be 400 or 800 or 1500. For the 200 and down swimmers, we would do 450s at pace, and I may have them do 1250s, one easy, one build, one pace. So it's not an all out sprint, but it's pace. And eventually, as we get on through the taper, I want that pace to feel easier and easier. When we come down, I do not go to maximum distances when we come down. It'll be slightly altered. And then as we get into tapered, it will be very altered. Does that answer your question, or is there anything else I can mention?
No, that's good. Here's another question, though. You mentioned Colorado Springs and Flagstaff. Are there other locations around the world that you've had a chance to go to altitude with the swimming?
Well, there's certainly other places. I know Italy has places. I think France has a good altitude training center. I have not been privileged to do that. I am very attached to Flagstaff. So we go to Flagstaff at least 2 to 3 times a year. We go there in the wintertime, usually at the end of Christmas through New Year's for 21 days, and then rest, and then have a meet after the second 21 days. Then after that, we pretty much train hard. You know, we don't really rest after that first altitude camp until the end. And for example, this year, our major competition, after, of course, the Pan Pacs for the national team is the major competition. But for the rest of the swimmers, the major competition is in Irvine at the end of the summer. So for those swimmers, I will take them to altitude uh, the 21st of June, and then I will bring them down 21 days before that competition. So we will basically, pretty much like was pointed out, you know, it's a 6-week process. The altitude and trying to manage that and train properly, and then the sea level training, which leads into the taper. So it's basically 42 days in total. I think 21 days are important. Some people do 17 days. Some people train at altitude, come down, and immediately have a high level meet. I think it's important to have the 21 days. It's not really recovery because at the beginning you're still doing some pretty intense training, but 21 days, which includes the taper. I'm sorry, I don't train anyplace else. I would like to. If they'd like to pay our team's way, I'd love to go.
Great. Hey, one more question, sort of a political one. So they've announced that at Colorado Springs in the future, it's only going to be open to athletes and staff from the United States. I think that's a U.S. OC rule. Have you?
That's our new executive director's rule. I'll give you my opinion.
Thank you.
I've always had an international team, and I'll tell you why. It provides the necessary competition for Americans. For example, when Brian Goodell broke the world record and won the Olympics in Montreal, he had the privilege of training with Stephen Holland, who at the time was the world record holder and the best swimmer in the world. And it really helped Brian. And I can give you many examples when I was at SC. We had a number of Hungarians, we had some Spanish, we had some Italians, and they provided, we had Polish swimmers and Hungarian swimmers who provided the necessary competition and practice. If you limit it, then you've limited your competition. You know, if you're good enough to have great competition among the Americans, and maybe Bob Bowman is, but I wouldn't be surprised if Bob Bowman chooses another location because of the fact that his team is international, and certainly the international nature helps many of the foreign swimmers that are training there as well. Just my opinion. I know a lot of people are upset with coaches like Bob for training international swimmers. I am not, because I see the advantage of a very competitive practice. If that answers your question.
Yeah, absolutely. If anybody else has questions, you could put them in the chat or unmute yourself and ask. I bet Dennis has some questions. Hey,
Or not.
yeah, maybe not.
Coach, what is the difference between your the height of Colorado Springs and your place where you train? Is that about 6,000 feet above sea level? Your on your place?
Flagstaff is I believe 7,300 feet. I don't know how many meters that is. And
Mm.
Colorado Springs is 6,700 feet. So it's probably about 600 feet higher. That's not the main reason I do it. The main reason I do it is I have relationships with the people in Flagstaff. They treat us extremely well. They're a little bit more flexible as far as the schedule is concerned. And I really like it. And, I will continue to train at Flagstaff. Obviously, for the national team people, there is a difference.
Whoops.
Oh, is getting out.
Yeah.
Maybe.
He came back pretty quickly the last time.
Yeah.
People, any questions out there? Fire up that chat, please.
Anyone? Okay. Mark is back. Coach Mark is back. Okay. Coach, I have a question. Coach Mark?
I don't see him back yet.
Oh, he was back earlier. Maybe his internet is lagging out or what. Okay. Coach Mark is back here. Coach, I have a question.
Go ahead.
Okay. Coach, normally in sports science, they call it 10 days adaptation. Okay. Here in the normal levels of coaches, okay, like Asian countries, they normally train about at 5,000 feet above sea level, and they're running at at about 10 days of training and 7 days of clearance for that 5,000 feet above sea level. That's what they usually know. I do know that you develop the red blood cells on that, but the bottom line here is that uh, in 3,000 feet above sea level here, the clearance is about 5 days. 5,000 feet above sea level, the clearance is about uh, 7 days. Now, you mentioned 21 days in 7,000 feet above sea level, and 21 days on the
Sea
sea
level.
level. Coach, the Singaporean team before had the whole team trained in high altitude, and only Jocelyn Yo made it good. Okay, I think it's all about the days was not perfect. Okay, but coach, is it not really bad to go above 7 days clearance or 14 days? I do know Bob Bowman is doing 14 days. Yeah, but is it, what is the description between the 7 days, 14 days, and 21 days?
Well, first of all, I certainly don't identify myself as a sports scientist. However, the method that I have explained has worked extremely well for my teams doing their best time at the focus meet. And as I said, the first 5 days are very aerobic, less mileage, and as you said, adjustment. You said 10 days adjustment. In my opinion, 10 days adjustment wastes 5 days of training. We start to do more the 10 days after the 5 days, mostly aerobic, but more mileage and mileage at 7,000 feet. I believe in it. My swimmers believe in it. And of course, we all know number one rule is what you believe in, you can make happen. So it is important that you talk to your swimmers, explain to them your plan, explain to them what they're going to do, make them believe in it, make them excited about the end of the season. You can't just go up and train and not say anything to them. I remember at USC one time, Christine Quantz, who was the American record holder in the 400 IM, said to me, and she was the captain of the team, she said to me, Mark, I think our training is great, but I think you need to talk to the team more. You need to have more team meetings. And of course, none of the swimmers were opposed to that. They loved the team meetings. But I did that. And that next year we won the NCAA championship. And I credit Christine for giving me that advice. It was excellent.
Okay, coach. Um, Coach, guys, do you have any other questions with regards to high altitude?
Or anything else. I'm happy to answer any questions. I mean, if I've exhausted the questions for that subject, maybe we should go to other subjects. I'm happy to do that.
Coach, what is it? If you can explain, there are basketball coaches here. Okay, uh, what if you relate the basketball to high altitude training? How do you explain it?
I have to be honest with you. I love basketball. I'm a rabid Lakers fan. I grew up 4 miles from where LeBron James grew up in Akron, Ohio, but I don't know much about altitude training for basketball. I could only guess that 21 days up and 21 days down would still be appropriate. The intensity that I explained would still be appropriate. Obviously, if you're going to do aerobic training in basketball, probably a good amount of running would be good for them. Uh, but you're talking about a guy that's not a basketball coach, who doesn't pretend to be a basketball coach. And I'm just guessing based on my experience as a swimming coach.
Okay. Any more questions, guys? We have 50% new coaches here, and only about 30% veteran coaches.
Hey,
Hey,
uh,
guys, you have an opportunity to ask. Come
hey,
on. It's rare for you to experience talking to a national coach of USA. Come on.
hey, Coach Schubert, could you tell us about Hawaii? What's your setup like? What are you
Well,
looking for? What are your challenges?
originally, I had moved to Fort Lauderdale because I was led to believe that we were going to have a professional and post grad training program at the Hall of Fame. However, then I was told that that program was going to be delayed a year. I've had experience running a program in Hawaii before. I have great friends who own the American Renaissance Academy, which is a private school that is immediately adjacent to a 50-meter by 25-yard pool. And I'm looking forward to coaching a post grad and professional training group there. We're going to start off with about 4 professional swimmers. We have a team of about uh, 60, including the little kids that are there that I'm presently training. They have 2 weight rooms. One is very close and adjacent to the pool. Uh, and basically, we have the pool to ourselves. We can use it any time of day. And as we all know, that doesn't happen all the time. Seldom has it happened in my career. So I'm very excited about it. Uh, Needless to say, it's at sea level. We are planning to go to altitude to Flagstaff again this year before the meet in Irvine. But it's a tremendous facility. It's available to us all the time. We can set our workout times anytime we want. And to me, that's a tremendous advantage. Even compared to Fort Lauderdale, that's a tremendous advantage. So I'm happy to be here. I don't I've been asked, am I going to go back to Fort Lauderdale? No, I won't. I feel like I was treated poorly. And when I'm here in Hawaii, they're wonderful, they're friendly, they're cooperative, and they're enthusiastic. And we have a private school that people can come in from outside Hawaii, attend the private school. Many of the students here are outstanding students and have been accepted to Ivy League schools, Stanford, USC, many of the outstanding schools in the country. I think we had a swimmer this year that was accepted to UMass. Uh, so they're very successful academically, and we're striving to make them very successful academically. But the swimmers that we bring in, I like to have Olympians and national team members talk to the existing team. I think it's very motivational. And at times I like them just to watch them in practice, watch them take 8 underwater kicks, watch their technique, watch their intensity in practice, watch the fact that they race each other in practice, which I think is key. When you talk about intensity, that's not just the way you train, that's the way you train against your competition. I think gold medals are great, but I think winning is greater. And I try to teach not just fast swimming, but I try to teach winning. And I celebrate that in practice when somebody wins a close race. When somebody battles the last 15 meters, I celebrate that.
Excellent. Hey, I do have one selfish question for you, Coach. You know, I've been helping Doug Founder with ISCA, and in the next month or so, they're going to have another Hall of Fame induction. So the inductees are Ray Lewis, Kate Lundstrom from Minnesota, and Matt Kretich from Tennessee. Um, if you know any of these folks, could you give me a word or two to be recorded? We're going to compile a video for that, and or could you just speak to the effect of what that ISCA Hall of Fame is? Its value, to you.
Well, I think anybody that's inducted to that Hall of Fame, I was very fortunate and honored to be inducted in the first class of the Hall of Fame. Uh, I think Ray is extremely deserving. What he's done developing national team people, American record holders, world record holders, Olympians is as good as anybody in the country. And I think to do that, not in California, not in Texas, not in Florida, but in Indiana, when you can bring people into the snow, you've accomplished something. And when you can make them as fast as he makes them, that's really tremendous. I think Kate Lunsford is one of the best age group coaches in America. Obviously, she's had very good success with backstrokers, not just on the age group level, but on the national level. I have a lot of respect for her, and I think she is very deserving as well. It's nice to see somebody that is recognized not only at the senior level, which she is, but at the age group level as well, because we all know that age group coaches don't get enough credit. They're the ones that develop the swimmers. And age group coaches that are technique oriented, they develop them more than just racing, more than just training, but in technique. And they're the ones that make it possible for swimmers to be great. And I think Kate is like that. I think the coach at Tennessee has done a marvelous job. You know, that program has had a great history from Bray Buzzard to John Tremblay, and now their history is good not only on the men's side, as it's been in the past, but the men and women's side. And I know for a fact that that program, the athletes really adore not only the head coach, but the assistant coaches as well. I have a very fine fly sprinter, Kamal Mohammed, who is the son of Sabir Mohammed, who was a great flyer at Stanford. He made the World University Games team this past summer. He transferred there from Virginia and has been very pleased with the way he's been treated, with the way he's been coached. He had a little problem with the taper at the end, but again, I emphasize if you have a swimmer that is not responding to your general taper, do not be afraid. In fact, make sure you treat swimmers individually in the taper. I usually have 4 or 5 tapers going on at once, just because swimmers need to be treated individually. And how do you do that? You do that through experience. You do that through trial and error. And sometimes when a swimmer is immediately successful, you've hit the gold mine. You don't need to change it. But if they're not successful, you need to sit down with the swimmer, get feedback from them. I'm a great believer in the swimmer participating in the training, at least giving the coach feedback. Whether the coach wants to do it or not, that's up to the coach. But oftentimes, I will change the training based on the perception that the swimmer has, not only in the paper, but in the training as well. Plus, we want to do some things in practice that the swimmers like. If they have a favorite set, don't be afraid to repeat it. Maybe not exactly the same way, but adjusting it so it's similar, but a little bit different. I'm proud of the fact that I try not to repeat the same workout ever. I may repeat the same set, like that example of 9/100s that I gave you. Uh, I repeat that probably 3 or 4 times during a season because I like the set. They attack it. They can compare their times, but usually the warm up, the set beforehand to get them ready will be somewhat different. Sometimes I will try to give them a warm up, a set warm up, but I will give them flexibility. If they feel that doing something adjusted is better for them, I will give them that flexibility because uh, swimmers know themselves, especially older swimmers, and I think you need to listen to them.
Thank you. Thanks. We've
You've had some good questions, Mark. I appreciate you.
we appreciate you, man. Yeah, for everything. Yeah, the nation needs you.
Okay. Everybody, do you have any more questions?
We got
Take
10 minutes, right?
advantage.
10
Yeah,
minutes.
yeah. No
And
problem.
and Dennis, I'll take more. It doesn't matter how long.
Yes. Okay. Um, guys, do you have any more questions? Don't hesitate. Okay, come on. Leo Alianza coming from Thailand. Okay. Uh, from other countries. Um, what's this? Uh, what's this? Eric Wisonga from Africa, Kenya. Do you have any question? Eric is our continental director from Kenya, and
Awesome.
yeah, he's
I
here.
am so proud to be able to speak in front of this group, different countries, coaches of different levels, experienced, new. It's been a great experience for me, and I appreciate the opportunity.
Some of them are actually early morning. Some of them are already in the midnight. Okay, we have a coach coming from UAE. Okay, just landed in the Philippines again.
Well,
She is Jalma Espiritu. Okay, and we have Muslim Muslim coaches here from different parts of the Philippines. Okay, I'm you know the problem here is that, well, yeah, even in the US, coach, they are having Ramadan. When they say Ramadan, okay, you mentioned earlier that you have a Muhammad, what something, okay, that is a champion on butterfly, and the father is also a champion on butterfly. But um, are they not affected with regards to the Ramadan, and they they are doing 2 weeks or 3 weeks of fasting? When you say fasting, this is really serious fasting. Yeah,
yeah.
they are really weak.
Well, I think anything is the way you approach it. If you make it a big deal and a problem, it will be a big deal and a problem. I mean, I used to face that with Osmaluli. Those things are important to the swimmer and need to be important to the coach too. And you need to adjust the training because you're right. You're not going to be able to get the same thing out of the swimmer that you can when it's not Ramadan. It's a very good question. It's a very big challenge. But I believe challenges, if you make a bigger deal out of them than they really are, it'll be a big deal, and the
Mm,
swimmer will be affected, if that makes sense.
yes. The
Hi, Coach.
yes.
Hi,
Okay.
how are you?
Hi. Here in Philippines, it's still morning, so good morning to everyone.
Yeah.
Since Coach Dennis mentioned that I was been in GCC for 15 years, I'm holding such a athletes, triathletes, and during this Ramadan, we had some adjustments. Since the morning become evening and the evening become morning, the training timing will be in the evening. So to avoid some
Correct.
of the religious aspects, some of our close Muslims, even they have fasting, they eliminate the timing for the trainings. So let's say the futur, which is the eating time, falls at 6 o'clock. They will just eat for 6 o'clock, and then they will rest for 2 hours, and then they will jump into the pool. This is how it works when it's Ramadan in GCC.
That's
Yeah.
very good information, and similar to what I've experienced. I've had some swimmers from the UAE. I've had swimmers from the Philippines. I've had swimmers from all over the world, and have faced that challenge. But again, if you don't make a big deal, and you know, I think the main thing that you just said, you need to have a good plan. That's what's important.
Yes, coach. And thank you for sharing all those information. It's really useful. And once I will have open water trainings, maybe I will ask for the recording for the coach Dennis to refresh.
Yeah, I love open water. Uh, you know, my opinion is the United States needs to recruit more of its distance talent. We've had very good athletes in our open water, except it seems like particularly Europe and Australia is able to recruit their best distance swimmers. Uh, and there's no reason that they can't be extremely good of the 10K. You know, Osmaluli is a good example. He never swam the 10K before. He led wire to wire and won the Olympics in the 10K, and he was a great distance swimmer. I love training people for open water. We try to take swimmers at least once or twice a week to the ocean to train, and then we usually have a picnic afterwards. It's fun, it's useful, and it allows them a little change from the pool. And you know we're lucky here in Hawaii that we have some beautiful beaches and beautiful areas to do some training. Any of you that would like to come to Hawaii for any period of time and watch our training, or even be involved in the coaching, I would love to have you. I love it when coaches come, observe.
Okay.
I
Great, great,
love to
great.
get their feedback too. You know,
Yeah.
an important aspect of being a coach, you need to learn something new from your program every single day.
Wow. Okay. Okay. Wow, that's a uh, big news for us. Okay. Then Coach Mark Schubert is actually opening the doors uh, for visiting and watching, learning. Okay, for from the side deck. Okay, for us to experience. Coach, um, the problem there is that we is can we formalize that in a letter so we can apply for the visa?
You don't
uh,
believe my word?
no, 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 Coach.
I'm kidding. That was a joke. I apologize.
Yeah,
Um, I would be happy to do that
yes,
if
yes,
that helps the visa situation.
yes,
I
yes.
enjoy it when coaches come and observe because
Yeah.
I learn from them, they learn from me, they learn from watching my group. And let's face it, if you come on a vacation to Hawaii, you can come and watch practice for 4 hours and then have fun. It doesn't get any better than that.
Yes, coach. Yeah, it's a very big news. Okay, we will be telling a lot of people that if you want, coach. What if the swimmers wanted to train for about 10 days or 1 month there in with you? How much
We
do they
have that.
pay?
We have that situation all the time, and they are most welcome. Most
Oh,
welcome.
good, 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 good. Okay, coach. Okay, coach. I'll
As,
try to set
as
it
long
up.
as long as long as they're ready to accept the challenge.
Yes, 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 coach. No problem, coach. Okay. Any more questions, guys? Uh, if you really wanted to experience, okay, train under Coach Mark Rauterkus or our coach uh, Mark Schubert, okay, the high performance USA coach of uh, the high performance coach of USA, please communicate with me so I can set it up and give you the invitation. Okay.
I'm
Uh,
gonna give everybody my email too.
yes, yes.
If they would like to ask any questions or ask about that, I agree they should communicate with you first, but I'm happy to communicate with anybody. My email is very simple. Mark Schubert, and it's Schubert with a C, SCHUBERT, one, the number one, at me.com. Mark Schubert one at me.com. Feel free to communicate with me. I'd love to hear from you.
Okay, guys, let's take a picture. Okay, this is an opportunity for you to take a picture with Coach Mark. Okay, open your windows, guys. Open your windows and try to be close. Your face should be close in the whole circle. Okay, come on, guys. Open your windows. Try to be close in the circle. Okay. Okay. Let's take it up. Let's take a picture. One, two, three. We have a problem here since 3 weeks ago, coach. The other windows cannot be open. Cannot be open because there's a problem with the meet in. Okay. Last week, almost 90% cannot open, even the speaker. Okay. So please bear with us. Okay. Okay, guys. Um, you can close your window now so we can take a picture with the names. You can close your window, then we will take a picture with your names. Okay. Last one. Wait. Last one again. Taking a picture with the names.
Well, thanks for your time, Coach Schubert. We appreciate it.
Coach, thank you so much. We don't have the right words to say thank you. Coach Mark, you want to say something?
No, we just appreciate it. We've always done for the sport and all the athletes and other coaches he's touched from around the world. It's greatly appreciated.
Well, I would, Dennis, like to ask you if you would call me back after this presentation. I have some things to talk to you about. And I appreciate, Dennis, the invitation. And I'm glad if people learned. Here's the deal. I go to a clinic. If I learn one good thing to help my program, it's been 100% worthwhile. So if you've learned one good thing, I hope you can use it and I hope it will help you to be successful.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay, Coach, I'll be calling you directly.
Thank you.
Yes, Coach.
Thank you, everyone. I
Thank you,
appreciate
Okay,
it.
Coach.
thank you. Okay, thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Coach Mark, for your questions. We learned a lot from you. from the
Well,
question itself.
I hope if you see me on the pool deck anywhere, you will introduce yourself. I would like to meet any of you individually. And like I said, come watch my workout. Stay in Hawaii for a vacation. You will love it.
Inshallah.
Okay. Okay, guys, good morning. Okay, ladies and
Good morning.
gentlemen, again, we say thank you to Coach Mark Schubert. Okay, how do you pronounce it? Mark Schubert. Okay,
Yeah.
That's
now,
correct.
yes, yes. Uh, Coach, I will call you directly. Okay, sorry guys. Coach, we will just email the appreciation. Okay, go, Coach. I will call you directly after this. Thank you,
Terrific.
Coach Mark. Thank you.